Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, episode number 64 for Wednesday, October the 15th, 2008. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, the daily video blog where I review a movie 7 days a week. My name is Leland Brungart and thank you very much for joining me. The film I'm going to be reviewing today is The Room. This film is written, produced, and directed by Tommy Wiseau. It also stars Tommy Wiseau, and this movie is about, I'm not going to waste too much time talking about the plot, because I'm going to say right now, you're not going to watch this movie for the plot, you're not going to watch it for the acting. It's about a guy who has like a fiance and she cheats on him a bunch, I guess. That's kind of the plot. Not too important though. I had heard about The Room from two different podcasts. I heard it mentioned on the Kevin Smith Smodcast and on Slash Film. And I really wanted to see it, and it's not available on Netflix. You can't get it off there. So I actually had to buy this movie off of Amazon to get a hold of it. And I got it for my movie night that I have with a bunch of my friends. We all get together when we watch a movie. And I have to say that this movie completely lived up to the hype of what all these podcasts built it up to be. And this is hands down my new favorite terrible, awful, bad movie of all time. It is fantastic. This movie is absolutely terrible, absolutely awful. The movie has next to no plot. It's kind of these weird scenes, one after another, that don't really add up to anything. This guy just has a bitchy girlfriend who cheats on him, and I don't know, it doesn't matter. I do, however, in the defense of this film, have to say that it is wildly entertaining and fun and funny. One night for movie night, we actually watched Gigli with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, and that movie is so fucking tedious, and it made me want to gouge my eyes out and never watch films again. I watched this film and I had a blast. I had so much fun watching it. So I do have to say that's one thing that's really great about it. This movie has worse writing than Gigli, worse performances, but that's what makes it that much better. It has probably the lowest production quality of any film I've ever seen. Anytime someone closes the door, it looks like the wall's gonna fall down. There's a really funny part where this girl comes in and she has like groceries or something like that, and she's pulling the groceries out. And she pulls out a bag of chips and she like puts it down. And the bag is clearly empty. There is no chips in this bag. It's like an empty bag they had sitting around. They just puffed it full of air. The next bag she pulls out right after that, it's a bag of chips, and it's clearly open and half-eaten, and she throws those down. Hysterical. I had so much fun. There's this character named Denny. He's this like kind of sprite kid. He's like a hyper kid next door. He's Tommy Wiseau's character, is kind of like the father figure to him. And there's this scene where he's on the roof of the building, and this guy he bought drugs from, apparently, he never says what drugs, comes up and is demanding more money from him. And he pulls like a gun out and they're like fighting, but then the Tommy Wiseau comes up on the roof and he tackles him and he saves him. The drug dealer never comes back into the story. The drugs are never mentioned again. Denny never mentions it again. It doesn't mean anything, but it is so funny, and the way these people act during the scene, it's just, you have to see this movie to believe it. The main character, who's played by Tommy Wiseau, who wrote and directed and produced this film, he's from Europe. I don't know where, or I don't know what country he's from, but he has a really thick accent. And I think there's times throughout this film where they clearly dubbed it. And I think the reason they did it was because you probably couldn't understand what he was saying. There's also a really funny, ridiculous interview with him on the DVD, where they dub a lot of the interview. It goes in and out of dubbing, and it's so clear when they go from the sound of him sitting there to him in a booth. It just sounds, it's great. I love this movie. There are so many scenes in the movie, like that scene where on the roof, there's a scene where they play football in tuxedos for really no apparent reason. They just kind of toss the football around. There's a scene where like him and his friend like jog together, and they're in a park throwing a football, and then they kind of like have this homoerotic wrestling scene that was really weird and awkward. This film is a true cult classic. You need to get a bunch of your friends together, get this movie any way you can, and sit together and just laugh. It is fantastic like that. It's laughably bad, and you will love it. I give this movie a -5 out of 5 because it's so awful. It's great. I've never seen a movie so bad that I've actually enjoyed as much as I did with this film. This is going to be a film that I'm going to pull out for so many times to watch with my friends. Tip of the hat to you, Tommy Wiseau. You did a fantastic job with this movie, or I don't know. I don't know whether to applaud you or never watch your films again. If you guys are liking my reviews, make sure and subscribe. If you have any recommendations on any films you'd like to see me review, leave them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.